I know from the get-go I'm already the villain here, and I understand that, but I'll try to explain the whole situation first. I do love my husband. I know people will say I don't because of what I did, but I do. It was a mistake. I had an affair with a mutual friend for a few weeks. It only lasted a month before my husband came home from work for his lunch break and caught us. I assume he must have been getting suspicious because he's never done that. We were not doing anything, but we were in bed together and he could figure it out from there. I know what I did is wrong, and I know the pain I caused my husband. I'm sorry for it, and nothing could make that up. He left the house and didn't come back until very late. I tried calling him, but he wouldn't answer. The next morning, I saw his side of the bed was slept in, but he was up before me. I found him in the kitchen and started apologizing, but he didn't take it. Instead, he just asked me how long I'd been with Isaac, our friend, and lots of details about when, how it started, etc. When he was satisfied, he said that was enough and left. I don't know where he spent that day, but he returned at night. I stopped seeing Isaac altogether. After that, he never said anything about the affair to me again. He started acting the way most people tend to do after an argument. He wasn't loving or friendly, or angry or passionate, just cold and distant. He spoke to me only when necessary. Our anniversary was only a month away, so I thought he was waiting for that day to pass to ask for a divorce. I started contacting lawyers, but the anniversary passed, he took me out to an awkward dinner, and that was that. It's been 7 months since he caught us, and he hasn't mentioned it ever again. I bring it up sometimes because I want to address it. I want closure, but he always shuts me up and gets moody the rest of the day. He doesn't act the way he used to around me, but he's polite and sometimes even friendly. We've stopped having sex, and he only kisses me when he leaves for work. Basically, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I don't think he wants to leave me, but I'm starting to get really uncomfortable. I know what I did was wrong. I'd understand if he wanted a divorce, even though I don't. What I don't understand is his nonchalance for everything. I don't know if he still loves me. I know what I did was shitty. I don't want to lose him, and I will never do something like that again. But if I try to talk to him about what happened, apologize, end the awkwardness in some way, he won't hear it and will leave. I don't know what to do anymore, and I don't know what to make of it. Comments. First off, it's not nonchalance. It's what he needs to do to keep the hurt at bay and avoid making painful decisions. That said, 7 months of limbo isn't good for either of you, so one of you is going to have to make the first move. Tell him you understand that you have no right to expect anything, and ask him straight up if he would feel more comfortable if you move out. Either way, that will open up the discussion you guys need to have. What the heck do you expect from him? The woman he took wedding vows with actively lied to his face and screwed around behind his back for a whole month. Lady, a mistake is a one-time accident, like a quick, spontaneous kiss. A month-long affair is a consciously calculated act of betrayal and utter selfishness. If you don't like the consequences of your actions, then ask for divorce. But don't act like he's treating you unfairly. He'll never trust you again, and for good reason. Either give him the space he needs to decide how to proceed, or shut the heck up and leave. Every day he wakes up knowing that his wife cheated on him. Every day he knows that he was not good enough for you. Every day he knows that whatever you wanted with Isaac was worth more to you than 14 years of his life and love. So knowing all of this, he goes through his day asking questions. What could he have done differently? Why didn't she come to me before this happened? Did she mean it when she said she loved me? And to make matters worse for him, it was with a friend. Has Isaac kept a secret? I bet he hasn't. So he's also wondering who else knows. You can tell him it won't happen again, but you'd already told him, made a vow that it wouldn't happen. You broke your marriage, and it sounds like you broke him as well. To be honest, I think you guys are done. Story 2. Cheated on my husband of 10 years. Drunk one-night stand. immediately confessed, feeling lost. We had been drinking at home and got into an argument. I went to the bar by myself to clear my head. Immediately approached by a guy and we started talking. I told him I was married. We spent several hours talking, drinking, and then had sex. I was very, very wasted. I don't remember the details of it at all. I walked in the door and immediately told my husband, which I also don't really remember. I am remorseful. He wants to forgive me. It's just not that easy. We love each other, and our marriage isn't perfect, but we were always working to make it better. Now that I've done this, it's just so much worse. He bounces back and forth between feeling sad and insecure and needing my love and affection, and being extremely angry with me. I bounce back and forth between trying to forget it ever happened, which, given my lack of memory from the night, is actually easy to do, and getting very depressed over the hurt that I've caused him and the overwhelming self-hatred I feel. I just don't know why I did it. I have excuses, but nothing that would ever justify my actions. I don't know how to help us heal. I don't know if I deserve his forgiveness. We already see therapists individually. We plan to go together. It's been 2 weeks. We have a daughter together. Help. Edit to add. Thank you to everyone who responded. I won't be able to check this post again for a while, but I'm appreciative of the tough love, advice, and reading materials. I know this sub is full of a lot of people who have been hurt by assholes like myself, and I know your inclination is to hate me, but thank you for helping me. I didn't mean to tell the story in a way that sounded like I was taking the blame or wanted to complain about the difficulty of the situation. I'm here for advice. Drunk or not, I know exactly what I did, and I am 100% to blame for it all. As far as what I am doing now to help, I have apologized and will continue to do so. We have always been transparent in our relationship as far as social media electronics. I've stopped drinking and have agreed to not go out socializing without him until he's comfortable. I've tried to give him comfort or space, depending on what he needs at the moment. I feel like I could be doing more. I just don't know what. I feel like we were having more sex than usual. Is that strange? I think it was more awkward for me the first few times than it was for him. I kept having flashbacks to that night and couldn't get it out of my head that I had let someone else touch me, etc. It's also been more passionate. I think this is all stemming from the fact that our sex life had been in a lull after our daughter was born, and maybe he feels that I was seeking satisfaction elsewhere. So now we're both kind of upping our game. Is that making sense? Regarding going out, we used to do everything together pre-baby. Lack of reliable sitters has led us to taking turns more often. He can tell his family, and or mine if he wants to, but I think he will find the suggestion just as strange as I do. This is a really personal matter, and everyone has different family dynamics. He has expressed that this is embarrassing and he wants to keep it as private as possible. We have a large group of close friends. 2 of them know, and he felt anxious even about that for fear of them telling others. I was just curious about the potential benefits that others saw. Update. Hi everyone. I was surprised when I checked my spam folder one day and found all these messages, chat requests for an update on this post. A lot of you had kind words, so thank you. I'm really happy to let everyone know that we are together and are better than ever. The first few months were extremely tough and emotional. We talked openly and honestly about that night, about the past 10 years, about our future, about unhealthy drinking habits, our sex life, etc. We talked and talked and talked. We never separated. We also never went to counseling. I'm sure counseling could have helped, but for whatever reason, we hashed it all out in private. We took a vacation 4 months after just the 2 of us. That was a real turning point. There was no doubt after that trip that we were staying together. We were still best friends, like we'd always been, and we knew it needed to stay that way. Several months after that, we decided to try for another baby, and now we are a family of 4. A year after that, we moved several states away, and we're living a totally fresh new life. The move really helped solidify that it was in the past. I don't mean to make it all seem simple because it wasn't. It was hard and scary, and the lowest point of our relationship by far. Even when things started turning for the better, he didn't trust me for a very long time. Sometimes in an argument about else, this whole thing would resurface. I've dealt with a lot of self-loathing. I'm extremely lucky to have a husband that sincerely loves me unconditionally, even when I don't deserve it. I could have lost my whole life. I hope my story offers a little hope to those of you still in the trenches. Edit. Just to clarify something, yes, almost a year after this happened, we decided to get pregnant. And 3 years after it happened, we took jobs in a different state that brought us closer to family. I don't think this is rug sweeping or trying to cure anything with a baby or relocating. It's called living your life. None of this is black and white. There's no wrong or right way. You don't have all the details. And there certainly isn't some standard timeline we all need to be following. And he has forgiven me, but he has not forgotten. I'm well aware, and he is not weak for his forgiveness, and I'm not a horrible person because I did a horrible thing. I know people here say hurtful things because they are hurting, but we're all here because we've gone through something awful. And if someone is choosing to give you a few paragraphs attempting to summarize something very monumental in their life, maybe be less judgmental. Comments. I would imagine that telling him immediately is the only thing that made reconciliation possible. If only more waywards would wrap their self-preserving egos around that fact, more marriages might survive. Trickling, lying, omitting, minimizing, and rationalizing are the toughest barriers for the BS to get past. Guarantee he's still in agony about it. Either by force, shock dissociation, or by necessity to function, good to remind yourself how lucky you are. Please make sure to remind him even if he says he's okay or acts okay. I'm glad you two moved on. That's great. It's not easy admitting when you're epically slaughtered someone's soul, and people do grow. Love him more than ever. Probably going to get a little lashback if you are the WS in this case. That being said, despite the low long-term success rates of reconciliation, I hope you and your family have found peace and happiness, and all of you work to maintain it. For your husband's sake, please understand that infidelity trauma can last a lifetime, and be as supportive as you can.